Isaac and Rebekah were married for 20 years before they had children. Isaac prayed earnestly to the Lord for his wife because she was barren, and the Lord answered his prayer. Rebekah became pregnant with twins, but the babies struggled within her womb even before they were born. Rebekah asked the Lord about this unusual struggle, and God revealed something remarkable. The Lord said to her, "Two nations are in your womb, and two peoples from within you will be separated. One people will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger." This prophecy would shape the destiny of these two brothers and the nations that would come from them. When the time came for Rebekah to give birth, there were indeed twin boys. The first one came out red and covered with hair, so they named him Esau. After this, his brother came out with his hand grasping Esau's heel, so he was named Jacob, which means he grasps the heel or deceiver. Isaac was 60 years old when the twins were born. As the boys grew up, they became very different from each other. Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the open country who loved the outdoors and adventure. Jacob was content to stay at home among the tents, living a quieter life. Isaac loved Esau because he enjoyed eating the wild game Esau hunted, but Rebekah loved Jacob. One day, Jacob was cooking a pot of red lentil stew when Esau came in from the open country, famished and exhausted from hunting. The aroma of the stew filled the tent, and Esau's hunger overwhelmed him. He said to Jacob, "Quick, let me have some of that red stew. I'm famished." Jacob saw an opportunity. He replied, "First sell me your birthright." The birthright was incredibly valuable. It meant Esau would receive a double portion of the inheritance and become the head of the family after their father died. It represented not just wealth, but honor, leadership, and spiritual blessing. But Esau, thinking only of his immediate physical hunger, said, "Look, I am about to die of hunger. What good is the birthright to me?" He was exaggerating his condition and making a rash decision based on temporary discomfort rather than eternal value. Jacob insisted, "Swear to me first." So Esau swore an oath and sold his birthright to his younger brother for a bowl of stew. Jacob then gave Esau some bread and lentil stew. Esau ate and drank, got up and left, showing complete disregard for the birthright he had just traded away. The Bible tells us that Esau despised his birthright. He valued immediate satisfaction more than future blessing. He traded something of eternal significance for something that would satisfy him for only a moment. This impulsive decision would have consequences that would last for generations. Years later, when Isaac was old and his eyes were so weak he could no longer see, he called for Esau. Isaac said, "I am now an old man and don't know the day of my death. Take your weapons and go out to the open country to hunt some wild game for me. Prepare me the kind of tasty food I like and bring it to me to eat, so that I may give you my blessing before I die." Rebekah overheard this conversation. Remembering God's prophecy that the older would serve the younger, she quickly devised a plan. She told Jacob to bring her 2 young goats so she could prepare tasty food for Isaac. Then Jacob would take it to his father and receive the blessing instead of Esau. Jacob was worried, saying, "My brother Esau is a hairy man while I have smooth skin. What if my father touches me? I would appear to be tricking him and bring down a curse on myself rather than a blessing." But Rebekah insisted, saying, "My son, let the curse fall on me. Just do what I say." Jacob followed his mother's instructions. Rebekah prepared the food and dressed Jacob in Esau's clothes. She covered Jacob's hands and the smooth part of his neck with goatskins to make him feel hairy like Esau. Jacob took the food to his father Isaac. When Jacob approached, Isaac asked, "Who is it?" Jacob lied, saying, "I am Esau, your firstborn." Isaac was suspicious because the voice sounded like Jacob's, but when he felt the hairy skin, he was deceived. Isaac blessed Jacob, giving him the blessing of the firstborn, authority over his brothers, abundance of grain and wine, and God's favor. Shortly after Jacob left, Esau arrived with the game he had prepared. When Isaac realized he had been deceived, he trembled violently. Esau cried out bitterly, "Bless me too, my father." But Isaac said the blessing had already been given and could not be taken back. Esau wept and begged for a blessing, and Isaac gave him a lesser blessing, but the birthright blessing belonged to Jacob. Esau held a grudge against Jacob and said in his heart, "When my father dies, I will kill my brother Jacob." When Rebekah heard about Esau's plan, she urged Jacob to flee to her brother Laban's house until Esau's anger cooled. This story shows us the consequences of despising spiritual blessings, making impulsive decisions, and using deception to achieve God's purposes. While God's prophecy that Jacob would be blessed came true, the methods used brought pain and division to the family. Esau's choice to value temporary pleasure over eternal blessing cost him dearly, and Jacob's deception created a family conflict that lasted for years. The story teaches us to value what God values, to make decisions based on eternal rather than temporary concerns, and to trust God's timing rather than taking matters into our own hands.